It's about that time of day again here, boys and girls. Welcome back, welcome back. Here's your nightly newsletter for August 19th, 2014. My name is Joseph James with Sideways Markets here, SchoolOfTrade.com. Welcome back here, guys, for a Tuesday evening. We have a jam-packed newsletter for you guys this evening. We are right in the thick of things of the end of the summer here. Boy, kids are going back to school. De-escalation of violence. The euro's getting clobbered right now. We got Jackson Hole later on this week. And we continue to see profitable trading opportunities thanks to our nightly newsletter. Boy, if you missed this week already, you missed a lot. In tonight's newsletter, we got 3 different goals tonight. First goal, we'll take a look at what happened today. Second goal, we'll take a look at tomorrow's schedule so you're ready for tomorrow. And the third goal tonight, we'll save the best for last. We'll roll those sleeves up and we'll give you guys strategies for all of the different markets we trade, whether we go up, down, or sideways. By the end of tonight's newsletter, you'll know exactly where we made money today. You'll know exactly what's on the schedule for tomorrow. And you'll have strategies to be ready to capitalize no matter what we have happen in this crazy environment we have going into the last few weeks of the summer. Now, before we jump into our newsletter here tonight, I want to remind you, if you're not watching this video over on our blog at Sideways Markets, make sure you find the link below the video on our YouTube page and follow that link over to Sideways Markets for 3 specific reasons. Reason number 1, you can download all of the charts that I'm talking about today, as well as all of our bonus charts. I've got about a dozen more bonus charts in there for you. That way you can be ready for tomorrow's trade room, opening up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Second thing, upper left-hand corner, you might be wondering, how do we profit from this newsletter every day? I would love to show you how we profit using simple strategies with the same information I give everybody here every night on our newsletter. Take me up on this offer, guys. You will not be disappointed. I got a free pass waiting for you, upper left-hand corner. Lower left-hand corner, right above my ugly mug. If you would like me to send you an email every time I put out my nightly newsletter, give me your name and your email address, and then check your email. I'm going to send you a confirmation email so that I can then begin sending you every evening when I finish up the newsletter. All right? 3 things on our blog. Download today's charts. Grab your free pass to attend my trade room. And, of course, register for our nightly newsletter mailing list. I think we're ready to go. I've got my helmet on, seatbelts fastened. Let's first start out by what happened today. We continue here to have very good news in the U.S. Today we had housing numbers and CPI, right? Inflation. Housing continues to look good, and we had a very tame inflation report today out of the U.S. You add that in with some relatively disappointing news coming out of Europe. We continue to hear about the de-escalation of violence in the Middle East. Another extension of the ceasefire in Gaza was broken today, but we hadn't heard too much about that as of lunchtime this afternoon. So everything continues here to push in the same direction it was yesterday. We got crude oil pushing lower, gold pushing lower, and we got the Russell pushing lower. We're going to talk more about all of these markets in just a few moments, as well as what to expect ahead of that Jackson Hole symposium later on this week. So more good news in the U.S., a little bit more bad news in Europe. Violence in the Middle East, with the exception of that, I believe they sent a missile out of Gaza today that broke the ceasefire. But for the most part, though, a very tame day here as we go into the 4th week of the month of August. Jumping right in here, why are these E-minis so strong right now? Well, again, great housing number, very low inflation number. And combine that with the fact that right now the euro is getting clobbered because the ECB is having such a difficult time with the economic numbers out of the ECB right now. And the E-minis, the equity markets in the U.S. are pretty much the only game in town. Had another bullish move out of the E-mini Russell this morning. But I'll tell you, the NASDAQ just never looked back. Dow pushing higher. All of the E-mini markets here continue to be bullish. I'll tell you, the hardest part right now is being confident buying at these highs. Now you can see on my daily chart right now, we're running right into that overhead resistance, 57.1 and 69.7. So you can see there on the Russell running right into our anchor chart, our daily chart resistance. We then go from the daily chart up to our 32 anchor chart, and this looks a very similar to what we saw last night, right? Last night, we were right up around here. And we said, well, we're going to wait for price to pull back here. It never pulled back. So the easy money on the Russell, well, there really wasn't any easy money as far as buying that pullback. We never got the pullback. So really the only money to be made today on the Russell was this very short-term pullbacks, or you would have had to have just closed your eyes, hit the buy button, and hope for the best. Very interesting. This is a very similar situation we see every year at the end of the summertime. The way that I describe it is, while the cats are away, the mice will play. In other words, the smart money is being distracted by mega yachts, private jets, right, flying all over the world here as they finish up their vacation, right? So a lot of professional traders right now are on vacation. Kids are kind of squeezing out a couple more drops of their summer vacation right now, so parents are distracted. This happens quite a bit in the late bit of the summertime. We get these low volume rallies where nobody's there, right, to kind of stop the euphoria. Be on the lookout here for pullbacks. It's difficult to find a reversal right now because it's very low volume, comparably speaking to the rest of the year. It is about 15%, 20% lower volume on the NYSE today. So we're definitely seeing low volume, and that low volume allows for that market just to flutter as it goes higher. I've been talking about this all week in our trade room. This time of the year, if you're not on the beach somewhere, if you're in front of your charts, you just got to be staying patient. We're not going to get as many opportunities as we do during the regular time of the year, and we are yearning for that first week of September when we can finally get back to normal. Right now, you can see here, we are making new highs right now. We ran right into our buyer's target, which you gave you guys last night. So if you're a buyer on the Russell, we knew exactly where we're going to, right? We knew exactly where we were headed to. We just had a really hard time today finding that pullback for us to get into it. So we're still waiting patiently here right now. I've got, my trend is bullish. Where's my setup? I've got setups at 52.5, I've got 45.5, I've got 38, and we got 35.4. Trend is up. Setups are below me here on the Russell. I'm waiting for price to pull back so I can buy it. Now, we were looking for a reversal here today on the Russell, and we get a little bit of a reversal here. So keep an eye out for a short-term reversal. But again, it's going to be a challenge because of that low volume right now. It's just going to be difficult because everybody's going to want to keep buying. So finding the reversal on low volume, more difficult. We always talk about when we see a reversal pattern at these highs, it's got to go fast. If you don't see the reversal happen fast, you know the reversal is not quite ready to go yet. All right, so that's going to be our biggest challenge right now in the Russell. With this low volume, waiting for the pullbacks. With this low volume, getting a reversal to go off these highs to get short. All right, right now the euphoria, boy, they are drinking the Kool-Aid here with these equity markets right now. Bad news out of Europe by default is good news for our dollar. It's given our dollar more buying power, right, to invest in the equity markets, and you can see here what's happening right now. All right, so smart money right now is waiting to buy pullbacks here on the Russell. If we're looking for a short-term opportunity here to be a buyer, look no further. I've got, again, 3 steps to success. What's my trend? Trend is up. Where's my setup? My next setup looks like it's going to be down around 57.7. Again, this is the same exact problem we had yesterday on last night's newsletter. Not too much of a problem, but again, we never look back, right? Last night's newsletter, we were right about here. We just simply jumped and really never looked back. We got the reversal pattern off of it this morning in the trade room, made a little bit of cash off that, but not a lot, right? It's very slow as it pulls back right now. So again, smart money here, waiting to be a buyer at these levels here below me. If we do happen just to see a big profit-taking rally here, if you're going to get short here, targets at 52.4, and then I would try to hold that next target down to that 49.9 or 45.5. While we're on the bull side right now, though, trend is up. I've got setups here at 57.7, 56.4, 54.7, 52.7, as well as 52.4, and of course 49.9 and 48.2. As this price pulls back, you know the deal. We'll be looking here for more buying opportunities on the mighty Russell as we go forward. Now, moving from the equity markets here to that funny yellow metal we call gold futures. Gold, as you can see here, continues to trade in the middle of this range. Now, think about the fundamentals right now on gold. The euro is moving lower because of very poor economic news. The dollar now, by default, is pushing higher. We also have less concern about violence around the world right now, which is not helping the buyers on gold at all. This is fundamentally pushing gold lower. We're still nowhere near out of the woods right now. We got that 1,300 big round number just overhead, the middle of the range right at 1,307 at the BMT. So we are still right in the middle of this range, and being in the middle of this range always reminds me it's going to be a little bit more challenging when we're in the middle of that range. Looking forward here on gold, this is exactly what we had warned about in last night's newsletter. Now, if you zoom all the way out, you can see we're coming off the highs of that big bear channel. You can get a better look at that big bear channel by downloading today's bonus charts by following that link right below the video today on the blog. As you can see, though, we drew that trend line here. And that trend line is proving to be the Achilles heel here for these sellers. We haven't been able to get the price action to test that 93, that 90.3, right? We can see we've got the targets waiting for us here, but we still haven't been able to get that final push through. You can see they tried. It was a real slow day on the gold today, that's for sure. Now, what's my trend here on the gold? Very easy to see. Trend is down, right? So trend is down. Where are my sell setups right now? That's the hard part right now in the gold. This is the exact same problem we saw in the Russell yesterday. The Russell, we had to wait for a pullback. Gold, we already got to that sell zone, and now we're trying to go lower. Here's the reality. If I go to a new lower low, I'm now going to begin to look for additional opportunities to sell short. Right? They'll be right around this 1,300 area. So if we do make a new lower low, come out and see me tomorrow in my trade room, and I'll give you real-time updates as far as what we're seeing at that time. Right now, though, we have to be careful. We've got this potential wedge going on right here, and it may continue here to wedge. Eventually, it should break free of this. But until we get a lower low, until I get below that 93 even here, I am very suspicious of selling right now. So I want to see a new lower low. I've got targets here at 90.3, 82.7, 75 even, and then down around the low of this channel. Those are the exact same targets we've had 24 hours ago, right? These are the same targets we found in last night's newsletter. Make sure you guys are aware. That trend line is the biggest concern we have right now on the gold. If we see a reversal, you may want to take a short-term reversal here off of these lows and possibly take this back up to that 1320 to 1317 area. I wouldn't think that this area here would be very effective for a reversal. All right? I wouldn't think it would be very effective for a reversal. It will be a minor level because it's already been hit once already. So I am still to the downside here on the gold. I'm looking for a lower low before I go aggressively selling short here on gold, because you can see here we have not seen any lower lows in the past 24 hours. Be on the lookout, guys. This may end up becoming this price wedge. And again, tomorrow morning, come see me in the trade room. And in real time, I'll show you guys what I'm looking at in real time. Moving forward, though, on my 16 anchor, you can see here another example of the same scenario. Now, this time around, though, we found ourselves a nice, strong bear channel. This nice, strong bear channel, again, Gave you guys these sell zones late last week. It was very easy to find those sell zones here late last week. So we had plenty of opportunity here to sell short. If you missed the sell that I gave you guys last week at that 1310 to 1307, if you missed that sell, you have another chance here at 1305 to 1303. We'll look for another chance to get short again, 1303.1, 1305 even. As you can see, though, we continue to be stuck in the mud right here, though. Boy, this just goes to show you once again, this may end up being that wedge. So right now, if I'm looking short here on gold, I've got 1303.1, 1307.4. If I get a new lower low, all of this changes. So I've got to give you a real-time update tomorrow morning in my trade room. I've got targets here at 1290.3, 1282.6, 1274.9 here on the gold. The easy money is going to come after we get a new lower low. And like I said, I would be expecting this to be somewhere around this area right here. So if we get a lower low here overnight, come see me tomorrow morning in my trade room, and I'll show you exactly where I'm going to be looking for lower low, entry short here. Again, most likely right around that 1300 area towards the top of that bear channel. If we don't get a lower low, I will be very careful here being aggressive to the short side, but I do have a sell zone here at 1303 as well as 1307.4. So bearish on the gold, but again, we got some concerns here because we haven't made that lower low. Now, we went from the Russell, who was very strong to the upside, to gold, which is very weak to the downside, right back here to another market that's very strong here. This time on crude, the black gold, very strong here right now to the downside today. We've got that love triangle going on between the dollar, the euro, and the crude oil futures. Now think about the fundamentals that are affecting crude right now. Again, same thing affecting the rest of these markets. The euro moving lower because of economic slowdown in the ECB. That euro going lower is pushing the dollar index higher. With the dollar being worth more, the price of crude in relationship, comparison-wise, is less. Things become less valuable, there's less scarcity, there's more abundance, and price falls. The currency right now is pushing prices lower on crude oil. Then add in the de-escalation of violence, right? Now everybody's backed off the ledge, right? The world's not coming to an end. This time it's not different, right? As we talked about yesterday, right? All the news media trying to fan that fear flame, right? All the fear mongering has pretty much been passed on to the wayside here right now. And then I hate to break it to you all, you buyers out there, but guess what? We are coming into the last 2.5 weeks of the summer driving season. This is supposed to be the most demand we're going to get for crude oil, right? The summertime months. This is supposed to be when we have the most amount of demand. Yeah, so if we don't see this thing pick up and go higher here, by the time we hit the second week of September, nobody's driving on vacation anymore, and the summertime driving season is going to come to a close. That's not going to help the price on crude either. So everything looking bearish right now fundamentally here on the black gold. Looking at the daily chart, look closely here, and you can see here, boy, we really tried to close here today below that 92.98. All right, we were unable to, I believe, at the 2 o'clock, right, the 2:30 p.m. pit session close, but we just barely snuck below this 92.98. Very important here because, remember, we have been really playing with this area here for a while. If we can get below it, now the next stop down is down around the 90s. We get another $2, almost $3 of wide open space here to drop. The next area will be 92.15, and then from there we go right down to $90 a barrel. Now remember, once we get below 95, then 90 is in the picture. We get below 90, now we're wide open down to 85. So this can get really fun very, very quickly here on crude. Moving forward, now that you know the big picture, just like the Russell, except the opposite direction. Crude going lower. Our biggest challenge right now for crude traders is waiting for the retracement, right? That's the biggest challenge. Now, last night on the newsletter, we gave you guys the exact point of entry here, right? 94.35. There's last night's chart from the newsletter. What do you think? Did we give you guys enough heads up on that one? That's right. Go back and watch last night's newsletter, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. So we've had a very, very good week here with the exact entries on this newsletter here for crude. Once again, though, the big challenge right now is going to be staying patient. I'm down at the lows right now. I've got a bearish trend. Trend is down. Where's my setup? My next sell setup is going to be at these levels overhead. 93.26, 94.02, 94.35, 94.61, 94.82, and 95.10. So right now, again, hardest part right now, the biggest challenge for traders on crude, not getting greedy, keeping our emotions under control, and staying patient through this fourth week of August, as it has been relatively slow, right? Again, 15 to 20% below averages on the volume right now. Now, if you zoom all the way out here, you can see we got a big, wide bear channel. So don't forget to download all the bonus charts today. That way you can see the big picture, which I just simply don't have time to go over with you right now. As we go lower here, remember, we're at the lows of this range. It's very dangerous to sell the low. I don't like selling the lows. I like selling at a premium, not at a discount. I've got targets below here, 92.15, 91.21, 90.66, and there we go. There's your 90s right there, 90.07. So targets are lining up here right now on crude. What's my trend? Trend is down. I'm looking to sell. Where's my setup? Setups at 93.26, 94.02, 94.35, 94.61. I'm going to wait for price to get to those areas, and then I'll look for the entry trigger. If you want to get real-time entry calls, come see me tomorrow morning, guys. I'll be in my trade room starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, here we go. One more time here. Last chart here on crude, my 16 anchor. You can see we continue to make lower lows here, but again, look where we are. We're right at the low of this short-term channel. What am I going to do here? What is a trader to do? Well, we're definitely not going to be selling short until we see a bit of profit taking here, a bit of a retracement. I've got your levels pegged here for you. I've got 93.27, 93.43, 93.70. I've got symmetry at 93.62, 94.02, 94.35. I've got more symmetry up top here at 94.75 and 94.82 to 95.10. As you can see, quite a few areas here right now. I'm not going to put a limit order to sell short here. You know the plan, right? 3 steps to success. Where's my trend? Trend is down. Where's my setup? 93.27, 93.43, right? Once I find the setup triggering, then I find the entry trigger. If you want the real-time entry trigger, I give my students in the trade room exact entries, complete with stops, targets, and everything you can possibly need to print this money with me on crude. Again, like I said today, hardest part about trading right now is staying patient. You're not going to see as many opportunities as you will after you get through that Labor Day holiday. That's right, the first week of September. Get through that Labor Day holiday. It's the first day of September, and then we'll be off to the races for the fall. All right, guys? Having a great week here this week. I hope you guys are too. We're not done yet, though. How about that news for tomorrow? Tomorrow's news. Now, again, we had quite a bit of news today. We had 4 Red Star news events today. It's not going away. We got more news tomorrow. Tonight, we have a news event at 7:50, and then tomorrow morning, we've got 2 a.m., 4:30, 6 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 2 p.m., and 9:45 p.m. here. Let me show you guys here, if I can zoom in on this bad boy here. There we go. Let's grab a look a little bit closer here at tomorrow's news. Again, tonight, I've got 7:50 p.m. Eastern time tonight. And then, of course, we roll over into tomorrow morning. I've got German Producer Price Index at 2 a.m. We've got the BOE, the Bank of England, their meeting minutes at 4:30 a.m. And then, of course, we got Industrial Trends Survey at 6 a.m. If you're trading out of Asia or you're trading out of Europe, you've got yourself some pretty good news coming around the corner here for you this evening. Then, drum roll please, tomorrow's a Wednesday, which means we have inventories on crude oil. If you're a crude oil trader like I am, that means tomorrow is your Christmas, right? Well, it may not be tomorrow. Tomorrow may be a bit of a sleeper because it is, again, the 4th week of the month of August. So we know vacationers are taking their last bit of the summertime, right? They can right now. Bottom line is, tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. on the crude oil futures. We've got inventories. That means I need to be on my best behavior tomorrow morning on crude. As I always say, on inventory day, I'm going to be conservative on the entry and aggressive on the profit targets. That means I'm going to be very careful not to be too aggressive on the entry, and I'm going to take my money where I can get it before 10:30. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit on hands from 10:15 a.m. until at least 10:40 a.m. tomorrow. So we're not going to be trading just crude oil here. Not going to be trading crude tomorrow until after 10. Well, shouldn't say that. We'll trade crude all the way until 10:15. But after 10:40, I'm sorry, after 10:15, if I can speak today, after 10:15, we sit on those hands. We wait patiently for the news report to come out. After 10:40, then we begin to find whatever direction we get from that news. That's my new direction to follow. Now, remember, if you're like me, you've been made a fool of this petroleum status report way too many times. We know better than to trade this news. In fact, tomorrow morning, I'll be sitting here going, I don't even care what the news is. I really don't care what the news comes out as. All I care about is the reaction to it. And here's why we wait until 10:40 a.m. If you've taken my advice over the past few months, you've noticed what? What have you noticed about the initial reaction to inventories? It's usually wrong, right? Usually, the reactions say go higher, well, it'll end up going lower. So keep an eye at 10:30 tomorrow. If the buyers hit the tape after the news comes out, you know what's probably going to happen. We'll be selling short. So expect to see the initial reaction to crude oil inventories tomorrow morning. The initial reaction is oftentimes the opposite reaction. So be careful on crude tomorrow. Be patient for those patterns. And remember, 10:15 to 10:40, you're sitting on hands, finding that direction after 10:40. And do not be the sucker that jumps into that news event right after 10:30. All right? Do not be that sucker. Last but not least, we've got the FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. What that tells us is whenever we have afternoon news in the U.S., traders will leave their desks early and come back early from lunch. So what will oftentimes happen is after 11 o'clock, things will begin to slow down pretty dramatically so traders can get out from behind their desks, get some lunch, and then come back at around 1:30 so they're ready for that FOMC meeting minutes. I can't wait to read the meeting minutes tomorrow. I will update you guys here tomorrow night on the newsletter. And as you can see, a very, very active day for an August, right, summertime day. So a very active day tomorrow. So looking forward to a lot of news tomorrow. Can't wait to trade the FOMC meeting minutes. Excited to see how the inventory report goes tomorrow. And last but not least here, again, buying Russell, selling crude. It's a little bit weary about gold right now, but again, bearish on gold, bearish on crude, bullish on Russell. The hardest part of our job right now is staying patient. Guys and gals, before I let you guys go, we are so proud of the fact that we celebrated our 10-year anniversary of teaching and trading here at School of Trade. I want to show you how much we appreciate your support. We get a great free trial. In that free trial, you get a special invitation to join our live trade room. We've got 3 levels of membership. We offer lifetime memberships. Your membership never expires. And I've got someone standing by here who I promise English is their first language. I got someone standing by there, guys, to give you guys some information if you want more info. Join the trial. Join the trade room. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. And don't forget, guys, to download those charts, jump on the newsletter list, and I'll see you guys in the trade room first thing tomorrow morning. All right? Share this information with a friend. Don't forget to learn it so you can earn it with me tomorrow. And I will see you guys and gals tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. in our live trade room here at School of Trade. My name is Joseph James from the entire team here at our corporate headquarters in Los Angeles, California. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.